What is going on, PokeChamps? It's your boy InfamousTrainer, and today we're talking about the Pokemon 2019 anime first episode, and I am super excited to talk to you guys and give you guys a full-on review of the episode. If you guys are excited for this kind of content, make sure you guys do like up the channel, hit the notification bell, but let's dive into the video. So the episode kicks off with, of course, young Ash Ketchum, around the age of 5 or 6 if I had to say, and he actually is asking, of course, the OG Pokemon mom if he can actually go observe the wild Pokemon in Professor Oak's Pokemon camp. Now, of course, mom says yes, but at this point, she says you're going to have to wake yourself up as I do have errands to do. Now, we all know Ash Ketchum. He is a sleeper. He loves to sleep. And of course, he does exactly what you think he did in the first episode, and he overslept. Then it cuts over to the lonely Pichu. Yes, the Pikachu that we know and love is actually being shown off as a Pichu, and we actually get to see some first action of the Pokemon Forest, and actually get to see some of the great visuals for this Pokemon 2019 anime. But focusing back onto the actual episode, we actually get to see Pichu moving and playing around. As we see Pichu playing around and jumping around in the forest, we actually see it does get attacked by an Ekans, but of course gets thunderbolted. Now, of course, we know Pichu is a very strong Pokemon, but also a Pokemon that can also hurt itself when it does Thunderbolt or any electric move, because it's too small to contain all its electricity powers. So of course it not only knocks out the Ekans, but also knocks out itself. Then it pans to a scene of Pichu looking at different couples of Pokemon or different families of Pokemon, and essentially really kind of diving into the loneliness that Pikachu had in the past. At this point, while Pichu is reminiscing, we actually have 3 coughings that come over, and they use smokescreen, and of course Pichu sucks in that smokescreen and actually gets dazed and falls off the cliff, to then be saved by a Kangaskhan and the baby. Maybe for short, I'll call it Kangaskhan Jr. At this point, of course, the Kangaskhan does save Pichu and decides to go ahead and start walking with the other Kangaskhan, but then it looks back at the Pichu and decides to bring Pichu with it, noticing that this Pichu is lonely. And of course, this sparks an everlasting friendship and relationship of family with Pichu and Kangaskhan, even to the point where Kangaskhan does put Pichu in the pouch next to Kangaskhan Jr. Then we get a really sweet scene of the Kangaskhan eating orange berries, and this was really funny and very cute, I would say. So we do have the Kangaskhan, they're all eating the orange berries, and at one point the Kangaskhan Jr. is still very sad. He still wants more food. He wants to have another orange berry, but then Pichu's like, well, why don't you just have mine? And then Kangaskhan Jr. is like, no, I'm not going to eat your food. So of course, big Kangaskhan mama does take the orange berry from Pichu and says, hey, open your mouth really wide, and then stuffs the orange berry in Pichu's mouth. Now, Pichu being super small, of course, when it swallows, it kind of blows up, and that was super funny and cute on the screen, and I really enjoyed that scene because you get a nice heartfelt scene of what Pichu/Pikachu has gone through in the past. Then at this point, it does pan over to nighttime, where you see the Kangaskhan sleeping, and Pikachu makes itself comfortable staying with the Kangaskhan for a long time. In the next scene, we are introduced to 2 brand new characters, one being Go and the other one being Koharu. Now, Koharu seems like the Dawn, the May, of course, the female character within the season. Now, we pan over to Go, and he seems like a very interesting character. Now, of course, they do interpret this character as a he in the show, or maybe the subtitles were, I'm not 100% sure, but I love Go's personality. He is a know-it-all, smart, loving Pokemon fan, and he cannot wait to become a Pokemon trainer at the age of 10. And not to mention, he knows so much about Pokemon even despite being a very young age. Now, also in the same portion, they're making fun of a kid who is really energetic, talking about how he's so excited about the day and he overslept, being Ash Ketchum. And at this point, you get a small scene of Ash Ketchum actually waking up and realizing that he was late for the Pokemon camp. Now, when it comes to the Professor Oak's camp, we have lots of different things going on, showing off different Pokemon, evolutions, even catching Pokemon that makes everyone super excited. Not to mention, during this tour, we also do have Go, who is spatting out knowledge left and right, even before the professor can actually get to it, and even correcting him on some of the portions. Then as the camp is walking to the next destination, Koharu and Go get actually distracted by a new Pokemon, this Pokemon being Mew. And then we get to see some of that crispy animation, and we get to see Nidoking versus Mew. And let me just say, the animation for the 2019 Pokemon anime looks absolutely fantastic. It looks amazing. Everything from the bubble to the earthquake to the flame blast, everything looked absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to see league battles, gym challenges within this game. At this point, we do have Koharu and Go chasing down Mew because he is so fascinated. Go is so fascinated with Mew and the powers that Mew has, as this is a Pokemon he does not know anything about. Then we get some overlap with some of the characters and some of the story we've seen so far. We have Mew, who ends up meeting one of the Kangaskhan babies, the one that was known to be friends with Pichu, decided to play with Mew and end up being on a very tall rock. At this point, Mama's Kangaskhan had just realized that her baby is missing, and so did Pichu. They actually catch up to baby Kangaskhan and actually realize that Kangaskhan is about to fall after jumping up and down on a rock, being excited to play with Mew. As baby Kangaskhan is jumping up and down, it actually breaks the rock, and at this point it does start falling down to where Mew does save the Pokemon using either Psychic or Confusion, but I'm very sure it's actually going to be Psychic. Mew does save baby Kangaskhan, and then it pans over to the next scene, which is the Pokemon professor actually looking for Koharu as well as Go. Then we get a very detailed scene and something that actually makes Pikachu a little bit more fascinating than it already is. We look into a scene of Kangaskhan. Mama Kangaskhan is actually running and traveling through the rain with Pichu as well as baby Kangaskhan, and they've actually grown and they look a little bit older, a little bit heavier, and it's really weighing down on Mama Kangaskhan. And at this point, Pichu decides to hop out of the pouch, giving Kangaskhan a little bit more room to run around and breathe and feel a little bit lighter on his feet. But of course, being the mama it is, it picks up Pikachu again and puts it back and says, "Do not worry, we will get there." At this point, it does pan over to another night scene where Pichu is feeling bad and it decides to go ahead and leave the nest of the Kangaskhan. Before doing so, Pichu looks back and you can see the passion, the family, the warmth that it wants to stay, but it knows it cannot because it is dragging behind Mama Kangaskhan and it does not want to be so Pichu decides to leave. As it's actually leaving, it looks back one more time at its family of Kangaskhan and Kangaskhan Jr. and actually looks back, which if you actually do know, Pichu does evolve through friendship or happiness, one of the two. It evolves into a Pikachu and starts running away, thanking one more time to Mama Kangaskhan and decides to go ahead and start its own journey being a Pikachu. As it runs, it does pan over and shows off different scenes of Go, Ash, and Koharu. Then we get a new animation style of Ash, of course, being late to grab his Pokemon, being introduced to Pikachu, and then we get a nice shot of Ash Ketchum in the brand new Galar attire, and then we get a nice clean little outro, and it pans to the next episode. Now, what I'm going to say about this episode, guys, it was absolutely heartwarming. It was a fantastic episode, not something I would have really liked for the first episode, but it gives us some backstory on Pikachu and how Pikachu, well, became Pikachu, and I think that was really fantastic as we know nothing about Pikachu's past, or was really even interested, but now I'm excited that I get to see how Pikachu grew up to be Pikachu from that Pichu status. Now, if I had to give this episode a rating, I would say 7 out of 10 as I wanted more action, I want to see more battling. I love seeing the animation of battles within Pokemon as they improve every single season, and that's what I'm really waiting to see. The parts that I did get to see with Mew and Nidoking was absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to see more of this Pokemon animation within this new 2019 anime. But again, guys, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I want you guys to tell me if you've seen the episode, what did you guys think of it? Do you guys think you should skip it? Do you think it was not worth it? What do you guys think of the first episode? And in the next episode, we're looking at Ash meeting Go and fighting and meeting Lugia. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. More reviews to come, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.